Edwin Canistracci here, and if you watched my Jaws video, this shot in Jaws explained video that I uploaded last week, you might be wondering, why this video? Well, because there was a mistake. There's like one mistake, but it bothers me. It bothers me. There's this one mistake in that video, which is an otherwise perfect video as far as I'm concerned. There's this image which I attributed to this outtake where Alex Kintner was eaten by the shark in a more explicit way. It ended up being a deleted scene they didn't use, in which you only see a fleeting moment of the aftermath of in the film, which is actually the shot I'm discussing in detail. I'm discussing the shot that's in the film and not the actual full deleted scene, although of course I reference that in connection with what we're seeing in the film and to help explain to you what we're seeing in the film. So when I was searching online, this image I used, along with these other leaked images, which were legit, all the images I used were legit from principal photography of the motion picture Jaws. The only one that wasn't is this one money shot of the shark chomping down on what I thought was a raft. Okay, it's not a raft. It's actually a lady who was on a banana boat. Yes, a banana boat in Jaws the Revenge. So in fact, that is the shark from Jaws the Revenge and not the original Bruce the Mechanical Shark of Jaws fame. The reason I made this mistake was because the internet led me astray. Yes, when I Google searched Jaws and Alex Kintner, this shot came up a lot. My first instinct was, is that Bruce? Is that the original Bruce from Jaws? But it was kind of hard to tell. The bottom of his mouth wasn't fully revealed. And, I haven't seen Jaws the Revenge in a long time. I just remember that shark looked really wonky, and this shark kind of looked cool. So I guess it's like the coolest shot I've seen of the shark in Jaws the Revenge. If you look closely, which I didn't do, if you look closely, you could see a little bit of the red that's on this woman, this victim, the shark victim's life jacket. You could see a little bit in its jaws. And if you start really paying attention, you can kind of see the outline of her. Apologies if this is a little gruesome for some of you. Rest assured, this is not a real shark attack. This is just a shot from a movie. The actress was actually fine. She was not eaten in real life. There she is. Look, you see, she's fine. Even the infamous shots of Alex Kintner about to get eaten by the shark is not a real boy. Yes, in fact, that's a mannequin. Yes, a mannequin on that raft. A little bit of movie magic for you all. But back to the Jaws the Revenge shot. Okay, the shark actually looked cool, so that confused me. But I researched this. This is what gets me mad. I researched this. I did a deep dive into Google search, and several websites attributed this image to the Bruce chomping down on Alex in the raft outtake. One person even posted the two together and made the Jaws the Revenge shot black and white. Yeah, look at that. Very confusing, very confusing. Even most confusing is there's a Getty image. Yes, a Getty image of the Jaws the Revenge shot, once again attributed to the Alex Kintner attack. Yes, and not only that, they're selling it for $500. Yeah, $500 for a large blown up shot from Jaws the Revenge. Yes, just let that sink in, folks. I'm a hardcore Jaws and Jaws 2 fan. I love both those movies. I own both of them on Blu-ray. I've seen them many times. I could definitely tell you the difference between the shark in Jaws and the shark in Jaws 2. And not just because they burned half the face of the shark in Jaws 2. But Jaws the Revenge? Yeah, I haven't seen it in a while. So, admittedly, I made a mistake. But once again, I was led astray by the internet. So me, being slightly OCD, this bothered me. Even though everyone seems to be loving that other video. Even people who pointed out that that shot was from Jaws the Revenge still said that they loved the video and thought I did a great job. So thank you. Thank you everyone for commenting and liking that video. I wanted to address this. I thought it'd be fun, especially for Jaws fans out there. And I want to hit people about this Jaws the Revenge shot being falsely attributed to the Alex Kintner outtake. Also, a shout out to a lot of people who pointed this out to me. Most of the people that pointed it out to me were in a Facebook Jaws group, the Jaws 50 Facebook group. Shout out to everyone there. These images that are now replacing that old image are totally legit, and they do come from that second unit shooting the Alex Kintner death scene, the more explicit death scene, where originally they were going to show you the whole shark, or at least a glimpse of the shark, maybe shadowed by the sun. Regardless, they didn't end up using the shot, but we do see a glimpse of the fins and the raft going down. And that is what I discuss in this video. This shot in Jaws explained, now with totally legit pictures all the way through. Ever since I was a small boy, I've been entranced and baffled by this one shot in Jaws, in which Alex Kintner is eaten by the shark. In a flash, you just see a few dark shapes in the water, and it cuts to witnesses on the beach, one of them springing up and saying, "Did you see that?" I'm not the only one who singled out this shot. Film critic Nigel Andrews once described the shot quite accurately as a windmilling flurry of dark movement. All I could ever figure out was that you were seeing one of the shark's fins, or maybe two of its fins, and who knows what else. I've watched this shot in slow motion on DVD and then Blu-ray. I've studied stills online. It's been like the Zapruder film for me. A few years back, some awesome stills of a deleted scene surfaced in which you see Bruce the mechanical shark in all his glory, rising from the waters and chomping down on the Kintner boy. This gave me a clue that there was even more going on with this shot than we originally realized. Was it a snippet of these leaked photos? Upon closer inspection, it looked like two fins and maybe part of the shark's snout, but none of the positioning made any sense. And why was the shark so black? Was it a trick of shadow and sun? The documentary, The Shark Is Still Working, actually went as far to show the outtakes of this more explicit shark attack. The majority of the Alex Kintner death scene was shot at State Beach in Martha's Vineyard, where most of the beach scenes were shot in Jaws. However, this insert shot of the shark chomping down on him was actually shot months later, very late in the production, shot by second unit director Joe Alvis in Catawba Bay, because the State Beach where they shot the rest of the scene only had waist-deep water, so they could not effectively shoot Bruce the mechanical shark there. Where Catawba Bay, the water was 30 feet deep. So the second unit shot this one scene of Bruce the mechanical shark chomping down on the raft. They had a dummy on the raft, and that is the shot. That is the outtake that you see in those horrifying photos. Thanks to The Shark Is Still Working documentary and Coward Flieger, who was part of the crew, they shot an 8mm home movie of this insert while they were shooting it. So you can actually see in motion, in color, the moment that Bruce the mechanical shark chomps down on the raft, and confirmed that yes, this shot comes from that outtake. I watched the outtakes in slow motion again and again and kept comparing them with a GIF of the shot I had on repeat and vowed to finally figure it out. And guess what? I did. And I feel like an idiot for not seeing the shot for what I now see it to be. The big black thing popping up in the water is the bottom of Kintner's raft. The top is famously yellow, but the bottom is black. I never thought about this, even though I've seen the film over 100 times. With this now in mind, I rewatched the outtake that showed the shot from another angle, and it all fell into place. We're catching a glimpse of the aftermath of the shark rising to the surface and attacking Kintner as the shark chomps down and spins around in the water. These are the dark objects we see in order. Dorsal fin of the shark, black side of the raft popping up from the water, and the tail fin of the shark. As the tail fin disappears beneath the water, the raft is front and center, and the last object on screen before the cutaway. Somehow it makes the shot a little less frightening, knowing that the big black object in the center of this whirlwind is just the raft. But it's still an awesome shot nonetheless. And it only took me 4 decades and various pieces of archival material to figure it out. I got into a debate with somebody on Facebook over my dorsal fin and tail fin plus raft theory. They insisted that the tail fin was a pectoral fin. Because if the shark was flipping over on its side, the pectoral fin would protrude from the water. And it would, if it was a real shark. The footage of the outtake from The Shark Is Still Working makes it clear the two fins visible in the shot are the dorsal and tail. The pectoral fin never appears. This is because it was removed for the shot. There are 2 mounted Bruce the mechanical sharks. One was a very basic model, with only half the side made up to look like the shark for shots where you only saw the dorsal and tail fin breaking the surface. The other mounted Bruce was more detailed and complex. Its body could thrash about and it could bite down on things. This was the Bruce used for this shot. The pectoral fins were removable for storing purposes. But my theory is they realized that when the shark bit down, flipped on its side and re-submerged, the pectoral fin was going to stick out from the water because the mounted Bruce couldn't make a 180-degree flip. This would make the shark look dead or fake on screen. Their solution to this problem was to simply remove the pectoral fins. This explains the various photos of Bruce without pectoral fins in Katama Bay, and why you don't see a pectoral fin in the outtake as Bruce flips over and submerges into the water. It also explains why in the shot you only see 2 fins in a raft and not 3 fins in a raft. Yet another thing that makes this shot so fascinating. Spielberg and Verna Fields had no idea when they went for this less revealing shot of the shark first attacking Kintner that decades later fans would have the means to slow down the shot and study it frame by frame. They just thought people would see a bunch of dark, ominous stuff happening in the water, and that's still pretty much what most people see. But what we're really seeing is something we shouldn't be seeing. A shark without pectoral fins, just so a shot can be made. The artifice of the beast is revealed, and forever there on screen. In my opinion, it doesn't take away from the magic of Jaws. It only adds to it by showing the level of off-the-cuff thinking and problem-solving that went behind the making of this classic film.